Welcome to the Fight Game with Icewater and Puma, and we're going to start out with the Gervonta Davis fight, which Gervonta Davis hit this guy so hard he couldn't see and he didn't know where he was, and it kind of showed in the ring, and he didn't come out of his corner. It was a TKO in the 9th round, and if I was Ryan Garcia, I'd be very, very cautious of what I say at this particular point, because when you hit a man so hard he didn't know where he was, and he couldn't see, coming out of that eye, that means that's some punching power, and you've been talking a lot of stuff, and this guy is waiting for you.
Yeah, well, Gervonta Davis has improved over the last year or so. I mean, dramatically, from the standpoint of he's become more of a solid boxer. He's become more of a technician, because before it's always been about him coming out and knocking somebody out, but now he has a strategy to it, right? He's not coming out a la Mike Tyson, just trying to take your head off. He has a strategy where he literally sees some things, and you can hear him talking during the fight, telling his corner that he saw some things as they got closer into it and he's ready to move forward, a la like Floyd Mayweather used to do. I see something now, I'm ready to pounce on this guy because I can take advantage. But you're right, his power is really second to none. Everybody knows he has the capability, but the guy that he fought was really just trying to, he didn't do bad. He was staying in there, boxing him and moving forward. But the dangerous thing about Tank Davis, and we'll see what happens to Gervonta Tank Davis, we want to see him against better and elite competition to see how he goes into the deep waters. But you can never take away from anything he's done so far. He just seems to keep getting better. The gentleman that he fought was a true competitor. But again, Tank Davis is showing you that he's ready. So I'm looking forward to his future.
Yeah, Hector Luis Garcia, I shouldn't have his head down because he fought a good fight. It just seemed like he just couldn't keep taking advantage of his reach. And Gervonta Davis was he seems like a fighter who's willing to take some punches to get inside and to cause some damage. So that usually kind of bothers me with fighters who don't have the reach advantage, them taking some punches. And if you have a puncher who won't let you in and has some power out there, I could see him having some problems with fighters, the elite fighters that you speak of.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, that's what we want to see. But going up the ladder right now, it's only a matter of time where he knew, like I said, he literally had a strategy is to say, okay, hey, he's doing something. He's going to give me a tail sign. I think I can get to him. I can get closer. And then also, too, Garcia did not want to take too many risks because he knew what was coming back. But he fought a hell of a fight. But you always know at any moment you are maybe 1 or 2 punches away from getting knocked out by Tank Davis. The question is, who has the capability to be able, and the talent to be able to keep him off and keep him at bay, and then also be able to punish him at the same time?
The next fight on that card was Jaron Boots Ennis, who I thought really kind of didn't close the show in this fight the way I thought he should have. It seemed like his opponent, who was Ukrainian, was open for a right or right-hand lead or to get him out of there. And I think he made more work for himself in this particular fight than he should have. Your thoughts?
Yeah, but to me, I think that we saw what level Jaron Boots Ennis is on, okay? It's not to say he's not talented, not to say he's not going to be one of the greatest fighters of all time. I think he still has room for that. But his team has been calling for the big shots, right? Fighting against the upper echelon, fighting against the Crawford and the Spencers, saying, I even go at the 154. But he fought a gentleman that perhaps wasn't the greatest talent in the world. People said he was running. He was one of my favorite words is he was crafty.
Yes.
He did what he had to do to survive. Wasn't like he was running a track meet. He did enough. And my point is that Ennis had the ability on this level. He's at the level that everybody thinks he is, Jaron Ennis. If he had that talent right now, he would have been able to do exactly what you said, but he didn't. So you can talk about running, you can talk about whatever, but the talented fighter, and he would have used that experience to do what he did to shut this guy off. And maybe he just had a bad fight, right? But to me, what he showed me was, because you can't tell me he didn't want to knock this guy out. everybody said, oh, it's gonna be over in a few rounds. So I think the frustration is he didn't knock him out, and they even booed him a little bit. But it is what it is. I think it's just his inexperience in against a fighter like that, and then the more that he fights, he's going to start to learn what he needs to do to close the show. So is he talented? Yes. Is he gifted? Yes. But is he ready? I don't think so. So I think now he needs to get more quality fights, Virgil Ortiz's of the world or Junior or somebody else as he's moving up where he can work on being better. So when he does get those opportunities to fight the guys in the upper echelon, he will be ready to do what he has to do.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be careful what you ask for, and he's asking for Spence and Crawford. What he displayed last Saturday night, I'm not sure if he's ready for that. Maybe about 2 or 3 more fights to get more experience, because I thought he should have knocked this guy out. He kept switching from southpaw to orthodox, and I didn't see the purpose of doing that at that particular time, other than trying to confuse the fighter. But I just saw when he got into his orthodox style of fighting, that a right hand lead, the guy had his left so low, it was like I knew he was much quicker than his opponent, but he just wasn't willing to do that to end the fight. I don't know if he was told to kind of go the distance so he can get that experience. It just didn't seem right at this particular time in his career to be calling out some of the most vicious fighters in different divisions and not putting on a show where you just close the show. And he was giving his opponent, hope. And, he was giving him hope. And that's the last thing you want to give your opponent in a boxing match. The Andrade fight, unanimous decision, super middleweight. What are your thoughts about this particular fight?
Demetrius Andrade he did everything right. But I mean, even watching in the press conference, watching his opponent didn't seem as if he was really into the fight. I think his skill set was there, but it's almost as if he didn't want to be there. He would get mad, and then he really wanted to fight at the end. But I was impressed, but I wasn't impressed. For Andrade said he wants to go to the next level, and he didn't look great to me.
No.
I mean, he was the more aggressive fighter. He hit more, he landed more punches, but he wasn't impressive. And if I'm a guy that's calling out the likes of Canelo, Charlos, Benavidez, whoever you want to put out there, I'm saying to myself, I have to be special. And all the time he was off, waiting for this opportunity. Did he win? Sure. Was he more of a technician and going against a guy that really didn't have the defense to hurt him? I don't know. And I'm still wondering about that. So did I see anything different that made me go, oh, yeah, he deserves a shot? I didn't. I really didn't. So, again, could have been an off night. Seemed like it was a night for off nights, except for Gervonta Davis.
Yeah. What do you make of, going back to Gervonta Davis in that fight, I guess Meek Mills was going after a professional fighter. And I was hoping that it wasn't anybody that was really close to Tank Davis, and because he seemed distracted in the ring even before the fight happened. What do you make of that particular situation?
Both of the fighters were distracted because they both stopped like, the what? I've never seen that in my entire life watching boxing. Where one guy's like, did you? Wait a minute, these motherfuckers is fighting. Like, what?
Fighting at the fight.
They start watching the fight, and then the referee like, hold on, time out, because somebody gonna get hurt. It's like he just stopped the fight for a minute. But Meek Mill, I don't know. But the one thing I found interesting is, I guess he was there trying to go after some fighters, and the name that they were saying was the Russell family. And yeah, and it's like they're from DC, bro. Meek Mill, I don't know your background, bro, but
I think he's from Philly, right?
Yeah, but still, you don't want that problem in DC from the Russell brothers, because they don't care. It's just you're gonna fight in their own backyard. They are pride fighters, but they also get it in the street. They can. They have no problem. And you on their home turf too, running your mouth.
You ain't home.
You ain't home. This ain't North Philly. I mean, this Southeast DC. Apparently, you don't know nothing about that because it's, man, bro. Woo!
I had a buddy who was trying to get to the fight because he lives in Maryland. And he was watching the fight, and he texted me like, "Man, I'm glad I didn't get tickets to this fight. They fighting at the fight."
Hey, DC, they don't play, bro. Especially it'd be different. You maybe going after some local guys. Yeah. You going after the Russell family? Down, they get paid to throw them hands. Meek Mill, you might be doing a celebrity charity boxing match, but you don't want nothing for Gary Russell Sr., Jr. Yeah, all them brothers in there. All the brothers in there. Oh my God. I don't understand that. I was like, I hope everybody got out safe. But
yeah. Peace to all my folks in DC.
Yeah,
and the DMV area.
You don't need them problems from the southeast side, baby.
Peace to the DMV.
Yeah,
any future fights that we need to look out for?
Yeah, we had some stuff trying to come up. Actually, recently now they're saying that they're working on the fight of Keith Thurman they're going to come to an agreement to fight. He's going to fight Spence Jr. in April. But they're going to supposedly fight at 154 with no belts on the line.
No belts.
No belts. So they're going to fight at 154. So it'll be a good test for Errol Spence because he's thinking about moving up anyway. Great opportunity for Keith Thurman. And then the 147 belts are still down there. And you go back and you still can fight Bud Crawford. I think they feel like they owe Keith Thurman a shot. And I think that Errol Spence said, the only way you're going to get the shot unless you fight me at 154. I'll fight you, but I'm not putting anything on the line. I don't want anything to happen. I don't think it will, but you don't deserve a shot like that. But I will fight you. So I think that's coming down the line. I think we got Caleb Plant is going to be fighting. David Benavidez is going to be coming up. So that's going to be coming up soon. We're also just waiting when Tank Davis is going to fight Ryan Garcia as well. So I think there is another women's card that's coming up.
Amanda Serrano and Erica Cruz Hernandez, February 4th.
Okay, February 4th. That's going to be a hell of a card. Hell of a card. So where does that go? Do you know where that is?
That's in Madison Square Garden and in New York at 9:00. It is pay-per-view.
Okay, so you remember Serrano sold out the last time.
Yes.
And now they're going to go back, and there's going to be a heck of a card. So looking forward to that. That's the week of Super Bowl's the following week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I want one more question before we get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Adrien Broner says he's going to fight his last 3 fights and he's stepping away from the game. What are your thoughts about his career, whether or not he's making the right decision at this particular time? What does he really want at this particular juncture of his career?
Talent-wise, we know Adrien Broner was one of the most talented fighters in a long time. He's supposed to be the guy that's supposed to be the successor to Floyd Mayweather. And at the lighter weight, he was able to do that. But when he moved up to 147, the power did not move up with him. And that caused him a lot of problems. I think he's always been dynamite at 140. I don't know. It just depends on what he wants to do. Because he gets in there. I think he came back for the money. With this new network, they promised him a lot of cash and gave him a lot of money. And the way that it is right now, considering what's going on with his family, it's a deal that he had to take because he's trying to make sure that now his family is totally secure from a financial standpoint. So he took it for that reason. But I also think he believes that he wants to fight. So if he wins his first fight, and then he says he wants to take down a couple champions, I'm not sure that's going to be the case because he is still older. And we haven't still seen him throw his hands the way he used to anymore. So I'm still skeptical about that. But I think he wants to, one, secure his family, money. And one thing about AB, I think a lot of it is an act, but he'll go as far to make you watch. Mm-hmm. And I got a chance to talk to him and meet with him, and I'm not throwing any spin on his game at all. But I think he really wants to secure his family, be in a good place where his family doesn't have to worry about anything else. And I think he will walk away. The question is, how long will he be able to do that? Will he be able to raise his game up to a level where he'll be able to compete for championships? Nothing else. This first fight, he said he already got paid. Let's see what happens.
Right. He's Icewater, I'm Puma, and this is The Fight Game.